Hey, this is Gerd Handel, and welcome to the Inner Light Project. This show is for anyone who's wanting to lead a happier, healthier, and enlightened life. Create more self-love, inject more joy and abundance into their daily life. Join me for inspiring interviews and spiritual topics so you can shine your inner light. Hello and welcome to a special episode of the Inner Light Project. My name is Gerd Handel and today I have a lovely guest with me who is just such a beautiful light, and oh my god, she's just amazing, and some of the things that she's done in her life and how she healed herself, it's just so powerful. Belinda Farrell is a past life regression guide, Hawaiian chanting and healer, and she believes we can all set ourselves free through inner work. Hi Belinda, thank you for being on the show, and I can't wait to share with the listeners about your journey and just what we were saying before, like about the power of healing.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you from across the ocean.
Oh, bless you. I'm just so grateful just to have this conversation today because I can just feel it. You're such a beautiful light, and I can just feel like you're going to share so much with everybody today. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for asking me. It takes one to know one.
Oh, bless you. Oh, so my dear, your journey is powerful. So could you tell the listeners what your life was like when you had spinal nerve damage?
Well, I was an adrenaline junkie. I was a stunt car driver, and I was doing so many things, that just required lots of energy, lots of power, lots of legs moving, arms, everything. And then all of a sudden, when I started getting pain in my left side, dragging my leg, and I couldn't move, and then I collapsed. My body just wouldn't support me. I tried everything that I knew of, from yoga to meditating, but I still didn't know how to be still. It was like I had learned all of these ancient Hawaiian teachings, and I did them for other people, but I had not done them for myself. So then all of a sudden I'm faced with this challenge of being in bed. I'm bedridden, and I have nothing else to do but concentrate on healing myself because I had no insurance. I had been dropped from the producer's pension and health fund because I couldn't do my stunt driving I couldn't do my jobs anymore. So I had no choice but to heal myself, and I had to see if these teachings that I had learned in Hawaii were really true. So I started with the breathing, taking deep ha breaths to the top of my head so that my unconscious mind, which is holding all of our memories, so it could have permission to release some of these memories, and I could get some closure from them because they were holding me back. They were things that I didn't want to take a look at. And I was in so much pain, but I couldn't go see any doctors, and that was probably a blessing. I went to see an osteopath who lived near me, and she gave me some codeine so that I could get out of the pain and concentrate on my healing. And she also prescribed a very tiny little pill of snake venom.
Oh, wow.
And apparently this snake venom helps to release memories at the base of the spine. So, it was really helpful because I was doing this breathing, and then all of a sudden this memory was released. And I talk about it on page 109 of my book. But this little embryo, this child, was just shot out into the universe like a piece of garbage. And she was darting in and out of all of these asteroids and craters, and just fearful because she thought she'd get blown up at any moment. But then these hands came down and picked her up and put her safely in the arms of this divine being that was way up above all the chaos. And I finally woke up from this. I felt like I had gone through a death. It was like the death of the ego. Probably the ego was holding this memory for me. And I just all of a sudden realized my goodness, what is it about my birth that I don't know? And I called my mother. She finally told me the truth that she and my biological father had taken me to 3 abortion clinics
Huh?
to have me, done away with.
Wow.
And so that was deep inside my spine. So the feeling of not being wanted, was felt by me. And at that moment when the hands picked me up, I felt loved, but it was from a spiritual source, not from an outside source, not from my earthly parents, but probably from my father or whoever, God, whoever you want to call it. They were the ones that made me feel completely whole again. And I just relaxed. For the first time, I thought, I don't have to try so hard to earn love. And that was the deepest wound, I think, that I had inside me, that I had to prove that I was worthy to be loved.
Wow.
And it was gone from that release of that memory. I healed that part. And so from then on, the healing just was really accelerated. And I started seeing myself climbing trees. And so that you have to have a strong back to climb trees, right?
Yeah.
So the unconscious is an emotional part of you. It's like the animal part. And so it says, gosh, climb trees. So I'm going to send that memory, I'm going to send that desire up the pipeline to her higher self. And then the higher self brings it down into my physical body. So my job was just to clear the pipeline, to get rid of the negative dark forces, like that memory that I had of not being wanted and being thrown away. I had to heal that within myself. And then the pipeline was free and clear for the desire to go up to the higher self and for me to heal. I healed within 3 days after that.
Wow.
Walked out of bed, went back to the doctor, had an x-ray taken. They saw nothing wrong with my spine. The scoliosis was gone that I had been born with. It was a complete miracle. I was given a brand new spine.
Wow. Wow. I'm blown
I know.
away.
That was 25 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
So I've been
I
grateful for my spine ever since.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow. And then when you said you're a stunt expert, I was like, what?
Yeah. When I got
Wow.
divorced at 40, I started doing work with Tony Robbins. I started doing fire walks. And he just was around at the time. He was only like 28, 29, young guy. And I was fascinated because I thought, I just want to get rid of the fear that I've been holding inside for all of my life. And I just want to challenge myself as much as I can. And I thought, well, fire walking, that's pretty challenging. And so that's where I ended up. And it just what it is it's a metaphor for if you can walk on 2,000 degrees of hot coals, then what else can you do that you haven't been doing? And what came up for me was I wanted to drive a race car, just have fun, just see what it would be like to drive a race car. So I called a racetrack and then enrolled in a Grand Prix road racing course that was in Sonoma. And off I went. It took me a few months to gather the money up for this because they're not cheap. So, but I did the 4-day Grand Prix road racing course, and after doing that, they invited me to drive for Buick and Cadillac. I guess I had some talent, and I started a stunt driving career that took a little over 8 years.
Wow, this is amazing. And everything you're saying, I'm just like literally nodding because I relate with the whole firewalking. I've done that so many times. I loved it. And
Oh,
you're,
oh,
it's like the
good.
first time you do it, it's like the fear kicks in, and then you're just like, no,
Yes,
let me do it. And then when you've done it, it's like, wow. And then I
I
went on to
know.
like break boards with my hands. Oh God, there were so many things I did. Breaking
Oh,
arrows with my throat, kind of like
oh my
yourself.
gosh.
And
Was
it's
that with
just,
Tony Robbins or who
um,
did you do this with?
So the fire walking was with Tony Robbins, and then I was part of the fire team and stuff, and then helping others
Yes.
to do the same. And then the other one was with, I can't remember, it was a different company, but it was just at that time, it was in 2015. I felt like I needed to just, like, I'd already done a lot of work at that time, but I felt like I needed to clear more blocks. And like I had, sounds really silly, but I had fears of crocodiles when I was little.
Oh, who
And
wouldn't?
I had fears. But it was really bad, like, my dear. So like when I was like, I think it was 6, I watched with my parents. So I'm from an Indian background, and my parents were watching this Bollywood movie, and it's amazing how things can affect us. Um, and so in this movie, this woman was like half eaten by the crocodile, and it was
Oh,
really graphic. So if you can imagine at
oh,
6 years old watching this, I was
oh,
so scared to go to sleep at night. I'd like tighten my bed sheets in the bath. I'd be so
oh,
scared to close my eyes.
oh my gosh, of course.
It was just
Wow.
it affected me for so many years, and it's only till like I've understood in the last few years I'm an empath, so obviously what I would
Oh,
see on TV would affect me. um
yes.
so I was fear of crocodiles, and I was fear of snakes, and I know that snakes was because of both my grandparents. Both my granddads were bitten by snakes, so I know that was like
Mhm.
a previous thing that had happened. But yeah, I wrote it on an arrow. I let go of the belief, and now I'm fine. Can see a crocodile on TV, can see a snake on TV, and that showed me the power of my mind. Like, wow, we really can
Right.
heal.
Did Tony bring you on stage and help you eliminate those?
No, no, that was with the other person. That was
Oh,
when I wrote it on an arrow. So I wrote it on the arrow and broke it with my neck.
oh gosh.
But with the
Oh my
fire
gosh.
one, it was the freedom. That was the fear I had, of
Yeah.
freedom to be me. And so walking on the fire, and there was hundreds of us, and just walking on that, and somebody was helping me on the side, and it just helped me to say, you know what, it's time for my freedom, and just I moved forward.
Isn't it wonderful? I was with Tony for 5 years. So
Oh,
I did the same thing. I did 18 fire walks,
wow.
and then I burned once severely. About the eighth one, my son was walking behind me, and I was concentrated more on him than on me. And you can't do that.
Yeah. That's for sure.
That's a no-no. So I did have some really severe burns, and but then the following year was the master course in Maui, and I did a 50-foot fire walk and made sure that I was in state the
Wow.
whole time. So yeah, but I never told Tony how I was afraid of water. I was afraid of water all my life and embarrassed to tell anybody about that. And now I'd been swimming with dolphins in the
Oh,
wild for the last 25 years. So I managed to finally overcome that.
I love that. That's powerful. Yeah. The fact I'm just so glad you said that, because there's so many people out there who are so afraid to do things, but once we
Yeah,
overcome it, it's like it becomes our gift, and we enjoy it so much that we kind of think, why were we missing out on it in the
I
first
know.
place?
Well, the fear, false evidence that appears real, we make it just so real, and we just have to make it very tiny inside of ourselves and kind of blast it away so that we change the circuitry, create a different electrical system inside.
Absolutely. Oh, you've just reminded me of something you were saying before, regarding your mum and dad, and like how the energy you felt whilst you were growing.
Right.
I totally relate, because my kidney, as we were talking just before,
Yes.
my kidney problem. My mum worked as a nurse, but in the kidney renal unit. So I know
Oh
that,
my.
yeah, I know that there's something tied or linked there. Um, it's amazing how we don't even realize that when a child is growing and expanding and evolving inside a woman, it's picking up everything, your thoughts, emotions, your belief systems, everything.
Totally. Totally. And also we don't realize what we're saying to ourselves.
Yes.
All my life, I had picked up on my grandparents had gone through the Great Depression, so there
Wow.
was always scarcity. There
Mm,
was always that mantra that you don't have enough. So
mm.
I was saying things like that to myself. And when you do that, your unconscious mind is picking that up. It's a faithful computer. Your conscious
Yeah.
mind is downloading all this stuff, and the unconscious is saying, okay, if you don't think I can support you, I won't. So then the
Yeah.
back collapses, and that's what it finally did. And I had to reverse it. Instead of saying, I'm not supported, I had to say, thank you for
Mm.
remembering to support me. Thank you for regenerating. That used to be my key word, regenerating. Thank you. And I would touch my back and feel the strength. I'd go outside and lean up against a tree, and have the trunk be like my spine. And I'd literally see the tree going and just growing inside of me and being strong, and the branches flexible so I could bend and climb trees. And I still do that today.
Wow. Oh, wow. As you saying that, you reminded me of things actually, which is, it's so beautiful. So when I was going into the hospital for the operation, everybody around me was like, looked really sad. And there was me
Oh,
with two of my favorite people, and I was just laughing and having fun right before the operation. And then when I came out, I was saying positive mantras like you were saying, and like, um, I'm healing,
oh,
I'm growing, I'm evolving. I love my kidney. My kidney, like, it's functioning beautifully. And I was out of the
that's
hospital
right.
the next day.
Wow. Well, that's
Yeah.
the power of your mind. I mean, you speak, and the unconscious mind listens and does exactly. It's a faithful computer,
Yeah.
faithful computer. And
Wow.
so just make sure that everything is clear from the pipeline so that you can see what it is that your heart's desire, and you just send it up to this higher part of you, and it can bring it down. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. It's like explaining physics to a 2-year-old. I don't know how you do that, but the
Yeah.
higher self can heal you from anything.
Absolutely. And just what you're saying right now reminds me of what's happening in the world right now as well. Like there's so much fear and scarcity, and
Oh, I
that's
know.
how society has been, right? For as long as I can remember it. Whereas now it's like it's almost like you're saying, like the divine is coming and saying it's time to heal, it's time to love yourself, it's time to nurture, there's community around you.
Right. No, it's true. And we're given this cleansing time. It is a cleansing time. We're in, some people say, an extinction.
Mm.
The earth will survive, not so sure about humanity. But 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 the earth will. The
Yeah.
earth will. And we just have to be one with that transition, whatever it is. And just feel. That's why I do the cord cutting. That's one of the most wonderful things that I learned in Hawaii, was how to cut the cords, which are my perceptions and my judgments that I have on anything that I do during the day. Like, just at the end of the day, I'll look down below me and I'll see like a film strip of myself and what I've said to myself. I'll see everything that I've invested my energy into, and I'll put them all down below me. And then I'll offer forgiveness to myself for holding on to those beliefs. I'll just say, I'm sorry. I love you. I forgive you. Thank you. That's it.
Mm.
Then I'll cut the cords with a knife or scissors or a chainsaw and spin it around me. And then I'll just watch those film strips of those people, that thing that I was investing in. I'll just watch it float away and tuck the leftover cords back inside myself. And then I'm starting again from square one.
Yeah. I hear you on that. Absolutely. I don't know if you've heard of black kyanite, the
Uh-huh.
crystal, and that's
Yeah.
my cord cutting thing that I use at night. And it's so true. Once you, like you said, with like, I love the way that you see it as a movie. I always like, I just cut like anything that's happened in the day. I just cut the cord and say thank you, and then it just like releases
Yes.
it, and it feels so good.
Oh, of course it does. It's like, wow, we get to start over and with a clean slate, goes into the void, and you're free to have all kinds of new creativity that you fill your whole agenda with. You can't
Mm.
have creativity if you're stuck in the past.
Yeah.
It burdens you and it loads you down. But when you're in the present, everything is possible. I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. Let's
So
go here,
true.
let's do that.
Yeah. Wow, that's so true. I'd love to know about the Hawaiian healing. So could you tell us what Hawaiian healing is?
Well, Huna is, again, these are the ancient ways that we used to know how to heal ourselves. And it existed thousands of years ago during a time when there was not a patriarchal system. It was a gentle time.
Hmm.
And then the missionaries came over, it was about in 1820, and they saw what the kahunas were doing, and they thought it was superstitious, and they imprisoned them. They really did. They
Oh,
imprisoned. They thought it was, from the devil.
hmm.
And so a lot of this was banished, and it didn't come into view again until about 1979 when the Religious Freedom Act came
Wow.
aboard. And then we were allowed to chant and practice the healing arts again. But it really was a time before that that it was not considered, you couldn't heal people the way that we're doing it now. You couldn't
Wow.
do these instant healings. So
Wow.
there was a man named Max Freedom Long, and he wrote about 6 books. He came to teach on the islands in about 1917, and he saw what the kahunas were doing, and he wanted to know, well, where's this written down? It wasn't. Nothing was written. And so he attempted to just write down everything that he had seen. Without those books, we would not have had any opportunity to do what we're doing now, to even teach the Huna. So he died, I think it was in, I think 1970, something like that. But he left these amazing books, and I think some of them are still available. What Jesus taught in secret, ancient
Hmm.
miracles, but it was how we can heal ourselves, how we deal with the 3 cells of man, the higher self, the middle self, the low self, how we get to send the desires up the pipeline to clear it so that we can bring down our healing. It's an amazing study, and I just hope that it continues and carries on long after I'm gone.
Wow. You're going to be here a long time.
Thank you.
I can feel it. Oh. Yeah, wow. I was just going to say about it's so powerful. Like I feel like some people don't realize that we can heal, and like yourself and like myself as well, and lots of other people like who are showing the world that you can heal. It is possible. It's just that we've never been taught this.
Right.
And or it's been like you just said about like the past, like it's been hidden from us and we're rediscovering it now, and it's finding tools that can work and help us to grow and really discover who we are, because all of us are born with gifts, all of us are born to heal. It's just our society wanted quick fixes, and so we kind of fall
Right.
into that trap sometimes.
Absolutely. And you have to want to heal. There are people
Mm.
that don't want really to heal. So this book, I say, you have to have that urgency that you want to walk through that door, because healing again is not something that is given to you. You create it within yourself. Your body can heal itself if you just give it the opportunity.
Yeah. And I also feel like it's not just that we're doing our own healing, we're doing like generational patterns of healings from,
Oh, yes.
so like it could be your mother's side, your father's side, or it could be just like your female ancestors or your male ancestors.
Right. So when I have a CD called Chant and Forgiveness, and I take you through the forgiveness process with that. And it puts your parents down below you, very tiny,
Hmm.
all of your ancestors, people that you've never met before, but you're carrying the DNA,
Mhm.
of what came before you. So you're here to erase that, to regenerate something brand new. And so you put all these people down below you and offer the forgiveness. That's really the basis of the healing, is self-forgiveness. It's
Yeah.
called ho'oponopono, to make
Mm.
right right. So when you do that, your unconscious is holding stuff that you don't even have a clue. Like me with that little fetus, I didn't have a clue that that was there. And we don't because we distract ourselves so much. We go shopping, we take drugs, we, eat cookies, we do anything not to feel. Let's not feel that pain anymore. We just want to get rid of it. But when you're alone with yourself and you're going inside, the unconscious will try to say, gee, I wonder if she can handle this today. Whoop! and something will come up from the arsenal, from Pandora's box.
So true.
So it's
Yeah.
up to you. Once that happens, and you can put a period on it, or you can put some kind of closure on it. Because imagine you're looking at these pieces of you, these parts of you, from a totally different perspective. This is maybe some things that happened centuries ago, or when you were a tiny baby and you didn't have the tools or resources that you have now. And so you're seeing it from different eyes.
You just reminded me of so like I was saying about my mum with the kidney side. My mum's father passed away when I think she was like 10 or 11,
Mm-hmm.
and only recently she found some like pictures of like old passports. And in those days, I can't believe they used to write these things, but it's just really odd. Something like odd features or something, and underneath it said 5 marks on his right side. And I've got
Oh,
5 marks from my operation on my kidney side.
oh my goodness.
And I was
Wow.
like, oh my
Wow.
God, like, yeah.
Wow. There's the proof.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And then my mum was explaining what that was for and how it happened. And I was like, that's just, yeah. There was
Huh.
more healing than I knew that was going on.
Yeah. And you know that it's worked when you feel lighter, and you feel just more at peace, and you can see things through different eyes, because everything is what you see outside yourself is what you're seeing within you. If
Mm.
you see ugly things, then you're addressing the ugly part of you. If you see beauty, you're addressing the beautiful part of you. If you can't see the ugly, then guess what? It isn't there in you.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, I've lost my train of thought. There are
we
so
went
many things
we
I've
went
seen.
into a
And
different direction.
yeah, it's all good. I'm happy with it. Um, oh, it was oh yeah, now I remember. So like I honestly believe that when you do the inner work, you actually like you look a lot younger. Because I know with myself, when I was in my mid 20s, when the healing started happening, um, I was drinking lots, I was eating not the best foods. And when I quit drinking and became a vegetarian, and I'm not saying that everybody needs to be a vegetarian, but what I've noticed, what my soul needed, and when I did the inner work, I actually look more or less 10 years younger. People don't believe me when I say how old I am.
Yeah, well, I get the same thing with being 75 on Friday. Where
I
did
still,
it go?
I still can't believe you.
Where did that happen? It must have happened when I was sleeping and they didn't tell me.
It's because you're living your truth, right?
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah.
No, it's still playing tennis, playing singles,
Wow.
playing lots of ping pong with my partner. And what I miss most is the skiing, is actually snow skiing. I don't go there anymore. I don't like being cold. I think that's finally it. I'd rather go to Hawaii and swim with the dolphins.
That's beautiful. Can you tell us about reconnective healing and Huna classes?
Well, I'll start with the Huna classes first. I do take people for 4 levels of Huna, and there are 35, 36 symbols that are you're initiated into. You get four the first level, then 8 more after you've practiced those. And these symbols are like another language. And they're symbols that can be used to heal yourself and to use here on the earth plane. Half of them are also used for going into spirit, into the etheric. And
Mm.
it's an amazing journey to teach the Huna. You also get your angels that are used in healing, that help you to heal. They've saved my life. I can't tell you how many times. because I've been a stunt driver. I've been through a lot of death-defying experiences, on my journey. But it's all been fun, and my angels have been there all the way, and they've helped me get through some really itchy situations. I mean, all I can say is thank you guys for working overtime, because boy, I'm sure a problem child when it comes to certain things. So, yeah, so that's the Huna, and I'm in Santa Cruz, so that they'd have to come to California.
Oh,
But
nice.
I'm at the surfing capital of the world, Santa Cruz. And the reconnection and reconnective healing, I'm doing not as much of that anymore. I've done it for over 10 years, mostly concentrating on the Huna right now.
And so, like, with everything that you've learned in the, like, how many years that you've been, it's about 30 years, I'm guessing, 30, 40.
I didn't start the healing work till I turned 40.
So
So with
30,
Tony Robbins, yeah.
within the 30 odd years, what do you think has been, I don't know how to put this. Oh, now I've got it. So within the 30 years of the healing work that you've been doing, what's been the best tool for you?
I would say Ho'oponopono, doing the inner forgiveness. I do it every single day, and it produces miracles. I mean, you can't solve all the problems. Your conscious mind just can't do that. So when you do Ho'oponopono, the divinity takes the painful thought and neutralizes it. And you neutralize the energy that you associate with that person, that place, or that thing. And something wonderful happens. It gets released, and a brand new slate begins. And so in that brand new slate is when I created my book, Find Your Friggin' Joy. So it was again, because of doing that cleansing work, it's like cleaning the plaque of your soul. When you do that work, it's you just allow for brand new beginnings to take place, and that's amazing to me. You don't even have to know what the problem is when you say I'm sorry, just like you do. You take some kind of crystal and you cut the cords, and then you say thank you.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same thing.
Also, as well, like, I love to, like, in the dark times, it's all about surrendering as well. Like, as much as we want to try and control it.
Oh, you can't. Yeah.
Can't, right?
I remember I was learning how to swim. Remember, I hated the water. The dolphins recruited me to come out and be with them. So I was out in the water one day, and I was a little bit out farther than I should have been. And I got caught in what do you call, it was just a current that was going in many different directions, and I was losing my strength, and I was just rapidly swimming in circles. And then I kept calling for help. I just said, help, help. And all of a sudden, this giant turtle appears.
No way.
And yeah, he appears and he looks at me, and I could feel that he was saying, do what I do. Do what I do. And so I stopped struggling with my arms, and I just started being like a turtle, just moving them very slowly. And he took me over the currents that were cross connecting me, and he led me safely onto the rocks, and then he disappeared. He saved my life.
Wow.
And I knew at that moment that I can't fight anything, that I have to go with the flow. That's what that taught me. Because when I went with the flow, I was easily taken over safely and put on the rocks. When I was fighting it, I was losing all my energy. I would have drowned.
Wow. Because I guess, yeah, in panic, we're like rushing around, but
Right.
you're right. It's about flow, trusting
Yeah.
nature's, like, course.
Or just stop for just a moment and think for a moment, what would be my next step? But whatever type of danger that you might be in, don't panic. You've got to think quickly on your feet.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. That is seriously amazing. I've never heard anything like it before, but it's amazing. Wow.
I think that turtle was like my angel dressed up in
Yeah.
a different disguise.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all I do, I call on my angels all the time and
Mm,
they come. They're needed. You have to give them the call
yeah.
because they will not interfere with your free will.
Absolutely. And I honestly believe like they even come in people as well. Like you
Yes,
randomly that day, a stranger might come up to you and you're having this thing in your head, like, how do I fix this? And they give you the solution and it's like, huh?
that's right. No,
Yeah.
that's true. You were supposed to send me somebody and they did.
Yeah. And the message is just there. It's, oh. And I think, oh, wow, just like you were saying about the turtle, like animals are so powerful and,
Oh yeah.
oh, they teach us so much about life, honestly. And I just think of like when I was younger, just what we were saying. I used to be scared of dogs because my brother got bitten by one when I was really young. And so I'd always be fearful of walking past dogs. And sometimes they'd like
Oh,
shout at me or like sniff at me or like, and it
oh,
used to scare me even more. And then when I started doing the inner work, and I realized everything is energy. So when I shifted
yes.
my mindset to be like, dogs are loving, they're beautiful, they're kind human beings. Now they kind of just stare at me or like just it's funny, or they'll just like want to jump on me in like the cutest way, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, no, true. I used to feel that way with German Shepherds.
Ah,
I
right.
liked all the dogs except the German Shepherds because I was bit by one when I was a little girl. So as soon as I'd come in contact with a German Shepherd, I would kind of tense up, and
Mm.
I'm sure that. But I do the what you do now. Nice dog, nice dog. I love you. I love you. I promise you, I do not taste good.
Oh, they're amazing. I just even cats as well, I've noticed like
Oh yeah,
they're so intuitive, and like if you've had a stressful day they can sense it, and they usually like brush the back of themselves on you, and it's taught me so much.
right. I love cats. All kinds. I love all kinds of animals. I
Yeah.
just, I would like, in fact, I live across the street from an animal shelter. So
Oh.
I'm, I look at them all the time. I'm very tempted.
I was just going to say, it's amazing. When we started the call, there was a pelican on the roof, and I haven't seen a pelican in years.
Oh my. Wow. Are you near a body of water? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm not far from a place of water, but it's just amazing that I haven't seen one in about 2.5 years, and it popped up when we were just speaking in the beginning. I was like, wow.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
The
that's
signs.
usually what happens when
Yeah.
we haven't seen something in a long time. We'll get a visit from a visitor.
I keep getting visitors as robins a lot since everything that's been happening in the world. There's this robin that comes every single morning, and I know it's one of my ancestors just
Oh,
having a chat with me, and I'm just like, hello.
wow. That's a sign of hope.
Yeah.
I think spring, new beginnings.
New beginnings. Yeah. It's so powerful.
Yes.
Oh, well,
Oh,
we are coming towards the end of the show. It's gone so quick. I've got
right.
three more questions left for you. Um, the first one is, what are your 5 top tips for someone who's going through a health problem and they're told they can't change it?
Well, first of all, take a walk. Take a walk somewhere in nature and take a deep breath. You have to go outside. I think you cannot solve your problems sitting. You have to move. You have to get up and get out. And if you could talk to a friend who would just like to listen, I think that's one of the best ways. And if that friend can make you laugh, I think that would be even all the better. And this ha breath, again, it's the sound, deep, deep breath through the nose to the top of the head. And when you come back down, ha. And, and what is the sound of laughter but ha 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 ha, right? And
Yeah.
you can make that sound. You can make that sound even if you don't have anything to laugh at. It's just a muscle, but you'll get started doing it and you'll just find that it's contagious. it's it'll be something that you will like doing every single day. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. And make all kinds of funny laughing sounds. And I'm sure you'll feel better. I'm sure if you are prone to um, depression, remember there's always another way. There's always another way. We have a laboratory inside our bodies, and we're making Valium all the time, or we're lowering our healing energy. If you get real excited about something and you get just happy, as happy as you can be, your body makes something called interleukin 2. And cancer patients are fed interleukin 2. It's $20,000 for a service of this drug. But you make it inside yourself. You make millions of dollars of interleukin 2 when you're just happy.
Wow.
So I think just knowing that would encourage some people to just really try their best and make this interleukin 2 and Valium as well. When you're in a quiet, peaceful place, you can make Valium. So I just encourage people to love your chemical laboratory that's inside yourself and create the most wonderful, beautiful garden of all the best drugs in the world that sustain you and keep you in loving hands.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. And is there any other suggestions?
Oh, other suggestions? Laughter is not enough. No. Cutting cords, just saying the words, I'm sorry, I love you, I forgive you, thank you. Those 4 phrases. If you can do that all during the day, and you don't even know why you're saying it, you don't even know what you've done that's, warrants this, but you'll feel better, 100% better. Just, I'm sorry, I love you, I forgive you, thank you. The person you're forgiving is yourself. You're forgiving yourself for whatever perceptions, whatever judgments you've had about yourself. Somebody will call you from a long distance away and just apologize for what they've done to hurt you. That's how powerful this is. You can put anything down below you. You can put your government down below you. You can put the present, well, I don't want to say challenges, world challenges down below you. Anything that you are feeling that your power is being taken away, you put that down below. You offer the forgiveness to yourself for whatever you're thinking is going to resolve it. And then you cut the cords and watch it float away. And it will change the way you're looking at the world, the way you're looking at yourself, the way you're looking at others. Guaranteed it will change for the best. And you'll move from a low density to a much higher frequency and contribute to the world.
I guess because we're all made up of Mother Nature, right? It's connectivity.
That's right. We're earth, air, fire, and water. That's why the fire walk works, is when we become one with the fire, we walk successfully across 2,000 degrees of hot coals. Become one with that fire.
Wow. I never thought of that. Thank you.
I learned when I was a race car driver. I would get in my car and I would just be so relaxed in the car, and I'd go into this peripheral vision, which the Hawaiians called hakalau. And I would just take in all of my peripheral, to the right, to the left of me. I'd feel who was even behind me, and I didn't have to turn my head when I'd be in the race. And then I started studying the Huna, and I realized I was in hakalau. I was in peripheral vision.
Wow.
And so you get in your car and you just go into this focus straight ahead, but then you stretch your peripheral out into the environment, and you can't feel nervous. You can't feel angry. You just feel very relaxed and one with everything.
Mm.
That's a real good habit to get to express.
Wow. Yeah. I can relate with what you're saying when you're just in that divine love. It's just so like ah.
I know you can't help but just want to bathe in it.
Yeah, it's just so nourishing. That's the word. Yeah, nourishing and replenishing. Yeah.
And also take a bath. If you can be near a bathtub, take a bath with Epsom salts.
Mm.
That tells the universe that you're worth being thought of, you're worth being taken care of. You're just really taking a luxuriating bath. That means you love yourself enough to do that.
Mm. And what are you most grateful for?
Oh my gosh, right now, my health. I'm so grateful for my health, for my daughter, my grandson. I'm just grateful that I can breathe another day to just help people that are in a worse situation than myself. I'm grateful for my partner. It's the first time I've had a partner that I can feel that he sees me, he understands me. It's taken a long time to find that one.
Oh,
So
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Belinda, for everything. Seriously, like, just thank you for doing the work that you do and helping so many people and just, yeah, giving more light into this world and being a bright light.
Well, thank you for having the opportunity to share with you.
Oh my gosh, what a powerful interview with Belinda. Thank you so much for everything today. And just, wow, you just really do prove that anything is possible and that age is just a number and that, we can all heal. We all have the ability to heal. It's just about tapping from within and trusting our soul's wisdom. Because once we trust our soul's wisdom, anything is possible. Unfortunately, that's the end of the show. Before I leave, I want to leave you with this quote. Healing is an art. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes love. For more information about the show or how to trust your inner light, visit my new coaching program at gerdshandel.com. And remember, stay happy, stay healthy, stay lit.